We've been talking so far this morning about the fact that everything that happened yesterday, including Donald Trump declaring victory, is basically what we've been saying is gonna happen. But you know who said it best? Basically laying out exactly the way last night, and indeed the next few days will go. That was Bernie Sanders on Jimmy Fallon's show back on October 23rd. Take a look at Bernie laying it out and understand that going forward, he's probably right about the way this is gonna go.
The election is November 3rd, and it's been said that we won't know the results until days later. When do you think we'll know the results?
All right, Jimmy, you raise an important point, and I hope the American people understand it because this is something I worry about. My view is every vote must be counted. For reasons which I don't have the time to get into tonight, you're gonna have a situation, I suspect, in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, other states, where they are going to be receiving huge amounts of mail-in ballots. And unlike states like Florida or Vermont, they're not being able, for bad reasons, to begin processing those ballots until, I don't know, election day, or maybe when the polls close. That means you're gonna have states dealing with perhaps millions of mail-in ballots. Here is my worry. What polls show and what studies have shown is that for whatever reason, Democrats are more likely to use mail-in ballots. Republicans are more likely to walk into polling booths on election day. It is likely that the first votes that will be counted will be those people who came in on election day, which will be Republican. And here is the fear, and I hope everybody hears that. It could well be, and I don't know what's gonna happen, nobody does, but it could well be that at 10 o'clock on election night, Trump is winning in Michigan, he's winning in Pennsylvania, he's winning in Wisconsin, and he gets on the television, he says, "Thank you, Americans, for re-electing me, it's all over, have a good day." But then the next day and the day following, all of those mail-in ballots start getting counted, and it turns out that Biden has won those states. At which point Trump says, "See, I told you the whole thing was fraudulent. I told you those mail-in ballots were crooked, and we're not gonna leave office." So that is a worry that I and a lot of people have.
Exactly, and so he was saying that back in several weeks ago, back before Axios had broken the news that Trump was going to declare victory, and Trump had said that, "No, don't lie, man, I'm not going to declare victory," and then he declared victory. Bernie was right, and we just need to chill and let the vote be counted. We need to unchill if the Supreme Court looks like they are actually going to decide, we're going to take 1 million votes and we're not going to count them. Then, you need to be as far from chill as possible. Literally, fire might become involved. But as of right now, Bernie laid it out, and it's basically proceeding that way.
It's 100%. He even called out the states that we would see this happening in. And the way that Trump would say it, even gave a time frame of the night. It was, I'm not sure. It's almost like he was in on the advisor meeting. He's like, "Oh, I heard them talking about this. They're just gonna set aside all truth and honesty and just go straight down the line and do it this way." And the reason why it wasn't so hard to predict is because when mail-in ballots were happening, they were hinting at this the entire time. From the Supreme Court rushing through this nominees for the Supreme Court to then disparaging the mail-in voting system, and then actually disrupting the United States Postal Service to actually carry out those disruptions in the mailing system. All that went down just as planned. And again, because we can see it right in front of us, the age of information, there's no more surprises. There's no more, "Oh my God, look, how many votes are coming in late in the mail?" No, we knew that because people did it.
Exactly, yeah. The same Republicans and pundits who are gonna be like, "Why is it taking so long in Pennsylvania?" Just a few months ago, were saying, "No, they can't count before election day, don't let them do that." And the people who are like, "You're really gonna let ballots come in after election day that were postmarked before it?" A few months ago, when the post office was being talked about, did they want to give money so the post office would actually be able to do its job and get the ballots there on time? No, they didn't want that. They set up a situation so that they could whine. That's what Republicans do, and we're seeing it right now. And yes, it's gonna take a little bit to count these, partially because a lot of people actually voted, which is good. probably has more to do with Trump than with Biden, and the Dems have messed up the vote in a million different ways. But so far, what it's looking like, the US Elections Project estimates nearly 67% turnout. That would be the highest since the year 1900. More than 160 million people may have voted this year. Now, close to half of them will have voted for Donald Trump. So this is horrifying in its own way, but we are at least somewhat engaged. If America is gonna be torn down and some sort of Handmaid's Tale, sort of white supremacist Christian theocratic autocracy is set up, at least let's fight it on the way out. Let's not apathetically go into that dark spot.
Yeah, and just
it looks like we're at least fighting.
Yeah, when you see it coming, it's just, there's no more surprises. Yeah. At this point, if you sit back and be complacent about this, you were okay with it in the first place. They didn't have to spring it on you. It's fine.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who voted and a lot of people who are just perfectly fine with a lot of this stuff. I definitely agree.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.